Some time ago, Esther was in a restaurant with Jerry with a long list of things to do. And the pinch that she was feeling right then was overwhelmment and frustration, but then overwhelmment. Maybe even a little bit of feeling like a victim because she had so much to do. And that feeling of having too much to do is the opposite of feeling free, isn't it? So there she sat with her big long list. She carried a notebook, and the notebook said things to do today, but there were more things than 10 people could have done in that day. And she'd been carrying the same list around for quite a while, just sort of beating herself over the head with it. So they were at a table with a large piece of butcher's paper across the tablecloth, and there were crayons on the table, and Esther was talking to Jerry about how much she had to do and how they needed to hurry. And Jerry felt her discomfort and said, why don't we talk to Abraham about that? And so there was no one around. Their food had been ordered. They were sitting there together, pretty much all alone, over in the corner of the restaurant with a crayon and a giant placemat, so to speak, in front of them. And so we encouraged Esther to draw a line across the top of the page and a line down the center of the page. On the left side, we said, make a header for it. Things I'm going to do today. Things I plan to do today. Things I will do today. And on the other side, write, things I'm delegating to the universe. This is the universe's side of the placemat. And then we encouraged Esther to look through her long list and to write on her side of the placemat those things that either she wanted to do today. Was hardly anything on the list like that. This was more of a put your nose to the grindstone sort of list. Things you want to do today, or things that you really are going to do today. Before you sleep, you plan to do these things. So Esther looked through her list of several pages and picked out top priorities and put things that she knew that before she slept she was going to turn her attention to and accomplish. And then we said, now put everything else on the universe's side of the placemat. Now the crayon is cumbersome, so she gets a pen out of her purse and she begins moving the items from her notebook to the universe's side of the placemat. And with each entry that she wrote, she felt a little lighter, a little freer, because she was taking us at our suggestion. Delegate these to the universe. Release them from your feeling of responsibility today and put them to the universe. She tore that big piece of paper and folded it up several times and carried it home with her, and acknowledged by the end of the day that she had done, for the first time in a long time, everything that she said she was going to do. But she also noticed that even more items got accomplished without her turning her attention to them, because other people called her that she was going to call. Some of her staff took care of things and let her know they had. So what happened here? What did this process alleviate? It alleviated resistance. She felt the resistance lift off of her as she delegated to the universe. Now feel how that dovetails with what we are now saying about you're not the law of attraction. The law of attraction is the law of attraction. Your work is to be a match that the law of attraction calls you to and calls to you what you desire. Your work is not to manipulate or convince or coerce. Your work is simply to be a match to your own desires. So that moment of much less resistance caused Esther to be a cooperative component to everything that was on her list, and so much of it happened. So that is also the reason for the process of the inactive box, where you take a box, call it your inactive box, and when something comes up that pinches you, like all those unfulfilled things that you need to do, or behaviors or attributes or aspects of situations or people or organizations or whatever. When something pinches you, drop it in the inactive box, period. Don't contemplate it. Don't try to coerce it. Don't try to figure out how you will be the facilitator of it, because you're not the law of attraction. Just find some way of releasing it from your active vibration, because in the absence of it in your vibration, you are more likely to be a cooperative component to the solutions that you've been asking for. You're going to find, as you hang around with us for a while, as we never-endedly respond to your important questions, that every process we offer is toward one significant and important thing: to help you release resistance so that you can be a cooperative component, so that when the law of attraction does its work as it always does, and always does it exactly and precisely, brings you as a cooperative component to the things that were already checked off vibrationally, and then when that happens, you get to be the witness of them manifesting in your experience. As Esther was a witness that day to people calling her. She just kept going to Jerry and saying, "You're not going to believe what just happened. The universe is doing a better job with my list than I am doing. More timely, more significant, and more numbers of things getting done." You want to let go of your duty and your responsibility, not your focus and not your desire. You want to let go of your beating up on yourself, of your having to give pain in order to get gain. You want to give up on all of that foolishness that you've picked up along your physical trail, because you didn't understand that there is a law, a benevolent law, a law that is gathering all things that match. Not telling you what you should match to. Life is helping you to decide that, but consistently, precisely, accurately matching this with this and this with this and this with this and this with this. So you've just got one question that you want to ask yourself. Am I matched to that? No, I'm not. Well, then what might I be a match to that I would like to focus upon? How can I be a match? Not how can I fix this situation? How can I be a match to my vortex? What does that mean? How can I feel good right now? What does that mean? What thoughts do I think that feel good? What touchstones have I put in my pocket? What memories do I have? What things make my heart sing? Esther looked across the table at her granddaughter in a moment of bliss. She didn't even know Esther was watching her, although she should know, because if she's in the room, Esther's usually watching her. Esther finds her beautiful and delicious. And Esther was looking at this look on her face that was total bliss. And Esther thought, that's a touchstone right there. I'm going to hold that one close. I'm going to recall it in every moment that I have a moment that I can think about something, because that will cause me to be a match to what's in my vortex every time.